All right, hello everyone, welcome back, episode 92. And Connor, welcome back as well.
Hello, Scotty. How are you?
Look, I'm well, and guys, it looks like we're doing the traditional Saturday thing, which is good because we can see how, the markets have fared for the week. And it's been, Connor and I were just talking off air. There's not a lot to talk about in regards to setups for us. So would you sort of agree, Connor? There's nothing really to strongly mention
Yeah, like
anyway.
if maybe next week I'm just looking at to see if the Aussie Swissy goes down any further. It's
Yeah.
had a major move down, then there was some sideways action, but it's had another breakout, so I'm quite interested in that. Especially since the sideways action was quite wicky, which means that it
Yeah.
was indecisive. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. So, what we're referring to, guys, is especially if you trade in the higher time frames, which is recommended if you're beginning, and most people, it's probably best to do that because a lot of time frames is pretty crazy. But yeah, you just got to have a focus on something and then let it develop to suit what you've tested instead of just going in really early and hoping for the best because that's really not a good strategy. So unless you enjoy losing money and just because some people I think enjoy just taking a trade to take a trade, and that's not really trading. That's more just sort of gambling senselessly. So just be mindful of that a little bit. If there's no setups, do some back testing. Yeah, do some back testing. Don't sort of just be in the market to be in the market because it's not going to be in your favor really at all. It might work out randomly by chance, but that's not a good thing. That's bad because in the long run, the stats will not be in your favor, and you'll end up losing money. And yeah, you'll just be another statistic, a losing trader, and you'll complain and you'll just move on to something else. And anyway, but yeah, this is Aussie Swiss now Aussie Yen. This is I updated earlier today, like how it ended for the week. So um, I got in kind of on the 4 hour time frame, pretty much before it bounced. So I got in at that bearish candle with the long wick. So that's where I got in there, and then it bounced a little bit, and then it's sort of fallen down again. So we'll see what happens next week. It's not spectacular. It's a mixed bag. Like the Aussie dollar has been a little weaker against a few pairs, but it's still, there's a lot going on in the, geopolitical scene. You got China and trade wars and Donald Trump tweeting, and it's just all sort of. Once you're in the trade, though, guys, you want to just sort of forget all about that and let it play out. Though you can't sort of get too fixated on chasing, news here and there and adding to trades, and you can get a bit sort of silly like that. So just avoid that, and that's it really. No
So you're
silver.
currently at break even for that?
Yeah, so it closed at 81.12 and I got in at 81.10. So it finished the session. My server's got 20 pip spread. So the official is 81.32. So but yeah, it pretty much is bang on break even. So we'll see. I thought it was actually sort of going to rally a bit, but then there's been no it's been a mixed bag with this. So I'm not.
So, what are your plans for an exit strategy? You just let it hit the stop loss, or if it starts to go sideways and you don't like the look of it, would you get out of it? Like, how would you use?
What
What would be your strategy for
what
that?
I have been doing, I'm still satisfied with how it's looking. So I'll wait till Tuesday. I'll let Monday play out, and then if it starts to rally on Tuesday a little bit, I might sort of think about closing the trade, or we'll see what Monday brings. If it really sells off, I might move the stop loss because normally what I find is if it moves in my favor on the Monday, the opposite will occur for the rest of the week, or the rest of the week it might get very, very wild. So I might move the stop loss down to where the rally was earlier in the week, well yesterday, sorry, and I'll sort of have it there. So that would take my risk down quite a lot if it does really push lower on Monday. So
It
that's
would really have to. Would you agree? It would really have to bust below 80 point like nine
yeah.
for you to be comfortable.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just having a look now. That'd be nice to see that because On the daily and the weekly, there's definitely there's some support there with some wicks previously on the weekly where price has bounced off pretty strongly. So the weekly candle is bearish, but in the context of the left of the chart here, it's a little messy, to be honest. And the daily is pretty messy too. So, but
yeah, on the weekly, I've sort of seen some major resistance around the 80.5 mark. Do you have that?
Yeah. I've got that in. So yes, yeah, I see that. Yeah, it is. So that's something to pay attention to as well, guys. So definitely, it's interesting. So with the Aussie dollar, I mean, both obviously Connor and I are bearish, but it's just a waiting game because I saw I don't know who said it. There was some chatter from the RBA. I saw it on the ABC News the other day about potentially lowering interest rates as well. So that's interesting because the RBA
market's gone down, Sydney 6%, something like that.
Oh man, it's
we've been talking about on the show. That's no surprise, and it's no surprise to anyone who sort of knows about Australia's housing bubble that's been going on for the past 30 years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very. I think a correction's
bubble bursts. When a bubble bursts, you're looking at 40%.
Yeah,
sometimes more. So 6%'s not that bad. Lowering would be interesting. I'd say that.
It's going to be. Yeah, that's true. So that's something to watch for, guys. And then we had a royal commission in Australia into the bank, into the big four banks and a few other, little smaller financial, companies, and that the report findings are released in February. I think the 1st of February. So that's going to be where they start. We'll see what happens. I mean, more regulations and things like that, and so it's something to watch for if you're a longer term trader and you're looking for sentiment with the Aussie dollar. It's certainly more. The more you look into it, the more negative things are sort of looking. I mean, obviously, if the trade war thing can be resolved, that would be good, but it's still currently, like, if you were to look through everything, the picture is not good. So, and Donald Trump's very stubborn. So we'll see. It's definitely interesting. What I'll do, I've just got the Dow Jones chart just to sort of put things into context how the US is faring. So everyone was talking about NFP and everything, and I think job creation was a little bit lower. But on the month, I've just got just set up on Google here. It was down a little bit yesterday, about 2.2%, but it's not at the lowest point. The lowest point, it was about 24.28 on Friday, November 23rd. So it's not quite there yet. So it's still just meandering about. It's just sideways. If you have a look at the 1 month and then the 6 month, it's not hugely concerning, but it's not fantastic. And like we talked about with corrections, it's just normal and healthy. So because things have been rallying pretty nicely for the Dow Jones and America's economy for a little while. So definitely it's going to be interesting. The 5-year paints the picture, really. The 5-year chart, there's not really anything quite too concerning there yet. But it's just something to pay attention to just in case things start freaking out. I've got the Bitcoin chart up here as well. Was there anything else that you wanted to throw in, Connor, in regards to
No.
Yeah, it's been one of those weeks, hasn't it? I'll bring this in for the people who like to trade crypto or whatever. I'll get the so we had another sell-off on Bitcoin as well. It's down at 34. I think it got down to like 32 or even lower. It's just wild. So Connor and I don't hold positions in Bitcoin or anything like that. It's just a point of interest because it's just been, what do they call it? The Christmas rally or the Santa rally? I don't. There's going to have to be a lot of that going on to get it back to,
Well, they're probably people who have had it and watching it just go down, down, down are probably cashing out for Christmas.
Yeah, because
your mum and pops, take the loss, have some money in their pocket. Maybe that's why it's taking such a heavy toll. That would not explain why it's been doing it all year, But look, the theory is as good as any.
It is, because it was really recently it rolled over again, because it was sort of found a little bit of stability, and yeah, that could be it. It could just be people just really giving up, saying this is not going to get back to like. It'd be interesting to see some stats.
For some reason in Bitcoin, the Bitcoin people thought it was going to be different. That no, this will be the only market in history not to be manipulated. And you know, sadly, it's another tough lesson.
It is. And we were talking about it too.
Silver, gold, the manipulation going there, which are supposed to be regulated, and then you've got Bitcoin, which is just you know, the Wild West. And people think, oh no, it's unregulated. That means it's better. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. And if you are watching this, and I'll put a hashtag in, so if you know someone does follow Bitcoin, you know, you might be a believer still and everything, but you know, if you're holding this long term and you're still seeing things, that's fair enough. But from a trading perspective, it's definitely still very bearish. So people talk about buying the dip. Connor and I were discussing the buying the dip strategy, which is very concerning. It seems that that's like a big thing. We don't really understand that. Like, that's sort of
well, as technical analysis, it's basic trend trading, isn't it? You're expecting you're expecting a higher low to turn up, and so, which happens in your basic trend trading. Now, I don't know why I don't get why it's so they've got such a simple approach, right? Because the thing is, it's like we all know at a higher low, you go, oh yeah, that dip is it's going to be the higher low, but then it goes down again and then comes up, and you look at it from a bigger picture and you go, oh no, sorry, I was wrong. That's the higher low. So even when you're doing those trend trading, you still get whipsawed out a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, most trend traders don't look good on paper. They just rely on the big winners.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So it is, guys, and I've just got the daily chart up as kind of talks there, and we're talking trends and everything. So you've just got to be mindful of that. If you are someone who is just fascinated by everything, it's probably best just to stay out for now and let things really just sort of play out. Because unless you're in a long-term sell or something, but then you know, if you're in the future contracts, you get the account is funded in Bitcoin. So if it goes down in value, you have to exchange the profit back to currency, unless you just use it on the dark web or something. Then that's, you know, but it's still lower in value. So it's a bit of a conundrum, you know, like if you're selling the future contracts and you sort of have to exchange it back to Aussie dollars or something, it's still a bit. You could make money because it goes down, but you still have to, you know, cash out eventually. So it's like, yeah. It's a bit of a sticky situation. So, no, I just saw the clock. We've covered things, guys. You know, there's not really too much from a technical perspective in the Forex markets to go over. Like Connor said, Aussie Swiss is a potential maybe if it wants to move lower. And my Aussie yen, I'm okay with that. I don't see anything else. And that's about it. Would you agree, Connor? There's not really much else to...
Yeah, unless the viewers want to tell us something that we've missed, in which they can write a comment below.
Yes, guys, feel free. And yeah, so more back testing for people that are, you know, not seeing anything in the markets. That's fine. And that's about it. Well, thanks again, Connor, for joining us as well.
Thank you, Scotty. Take care.
Bye, guys, and happy trading.